Straight line method of depreciation. Now let us learn about the straight line method of depreciation. Depreciation basically can be charged through predominantly two methods. One is the straight line method, which we are discussing right now, or SLM as it is called, and the second is the written down value method. This is also known as WDV method, written W down D value V. Because the topic for discussion is straight line method or the SLM method, let's first look at this. Under this method, let's say for example, the cost of an asset is 20,000. Okay. We discussed earlier that there were three aspects which were important to see how much depreciation has to be charged. One is the cost. Second is the useful life, assuming this is lower than the legal life. Let's say this is 10 years. And third is the scrap or the residual value, the value for which we will be able to sell the assets at the end of the useful life. Right? So I bought an asset for 20,000. I will get 2,000 for it at the end of 10th year. So how much is the amount which I actually lose? It is 18,000. I'm not considering about the present value of the money, but this is simply 20,000 minus 2,000. In a straight line method, what happens is, let's say the useful life of the asset is 10 years. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Every year, we write off by way of depreciation a constant amount. Right? So if 18,000 has to be written off over a period of 10 years, how much amount should I charge every year such that I charge 18,000 over these 10 years? This is plain simple maths, right? Which is what? The depreciation charge has to be the amount to be written off divided by number of years. I mean, I've just written this formula, but even if I was not writing this, if I asked you that I have to write out down 18,000 in 10 years, right? How much should I write off? The answer is simple. 18,000 divided by 10 or 1800. Right? If I write 1800 over each of these 10 years, if you do the sum total, that will come to 18,000. But 18,000 is what? It is nothing but the amount to be written off, which is this, divided by the number of years or the useful life. And what is the amount to be written off? Amount to be written off is the cost of the asset minus the scrap value. So can I write it like this? Cost of asset minus scrap value divided by number of years. Right? So many people try to learn up this formula, but the genesis of this formula is this discussion that we had initially. So let's say now if I tell you that the cost of asset, okay, this is problem number 2, is 20,000, useful life is 5 years, okay, and scrap value is equal to nil. Then how much is the depreciation? If you want to apply this, cost of asset is 20,000 minus scrap value is 0 divided by useful life is 5 years, 4,000. And if you think even otherwise, if I have bought something for 20,000 which will be useless after 5 years because there is no scrap value, so every year how much should I write off? It will be 20,000 divided by 5. So this method is known as the straight line method, in which you charge a constant amount every year. Now there could be an alternate way also in which you can get this information. So if I tell you that the cost of the asset is 20,000, right? The scrap value is 2,000, but I don't tell you what is the useful life, but I tell you that the rate of depreciation is equal to 20%. Right? Now, one thing which I told you that is, if rate of depreciation is 20%, how much depreciation is chargeable? Obviously, the amount of depreciation which has to be charged is the amount to be written off, which is 18,000 again in this case. Right? How much depreciation has to be charged every year? It's 20%. So 20% of 18,000 and not 20,000. Why? Because it is not 20,000 that we have to write off. 2,000 is the scrap value. So 20% of 18,000 will be how much? 3,600. As I told you in SLM or the straight line method, this amount of depreciation is constant. So we will keep on writing out this 3,600, right, till we reach a total write-off of 18,000, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So if these data is given to you, can you find out the useful life? If 20% is what you have to charge every year, right? How much is the total depreciation which has to be charged? It's 100%, right? And you are charging how much? 20% every year. So divide by 20%, it is 5 years. But it can just be reworded like this and you can calculate it. Right? So we'll take 1 or 2 problems on straight line method, which will clarify the concept even further for you. Thank you for being with us today. I'm Arinjay, your educator for this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And please also share and help us create a free educated world. Thank you.